Thanks to the support as a channel member, Rob Pontin. But I think we can all agree the transfer window that we went through yesterday is very much unfinished. So we have to start the new season with barely any new players, a much smaller squad than we finished with. But we were the form team in the championship with this group of players at the end of last season. So maybe it's for the best. Probably some more transfers incoming too. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 7 of Non-Lethal Legend. I'm Kevin, coming up on today's episode with our first two games of the new championship season. We're at home against Crystal Palace and away against Swansea. There is a Carabao Cup game against Torquay in there too, but I won't make you sit through that. There is likely to be more transfer business as well. If you missed yesterday's transfer special, you'll have missed us selling £24 million off of players, but doing so much of it so late that we haven't been able to really replace them yet. We've panic signed two players that aren't necessarily up to the standard I'd usually bring in. Although, to be fair, they're both pretty decent. I don't mind that as panic signings. But we are a little light. And when I say a little light, I mean very light. And this is the team that's going to be starting the new season. It might look quite familiar to you. It's basically the team that finished last season with the notable addition of Luan Silva, who we signed in January but weren't able to register until the summer. Also, new boy Rule Walters coming in at right back to replace our record sale, who went in the summer, and Cox, last season's backup keeper, who came in January for 140,000, making his debut? Making his debut because our new goalkeeper Amir Bezic arrived this morning from Bosnia and strangely isn't 100% match fit as a result. So the team is Cox in goal, a back four of Ullman, Kitching, Ballard and Walters, McCormick and Anderson in midfield, and then Gallagher, Silva and Nelson supporting Brewster up front. Remember, Ryan Brewster ended last season in absolutely incredible form. In the last 2 days of the last two games of the season, one of them he scored 4 goals, and the other one he scored the goal of the season. He won the Championship Player of the Month in May because there were only those 2 games. He is in form. We're in form. We were top of the championship on last 5 games form come the end of the season. So if we can roll that over with this same group of players, then maybe this transfer window will have been for the best. We know the most successful season we've had in the save so far was as a almost direct result of not being able to make any signings because we were under a transfer embargo at Leamington. So perhaps these summers where I have my hands tied and can't do a lot, we need him every now and again, just to keep me on the straight and narrow. Cross comes in, Walters, our first look at him coming away with the ball, and he's looking to keep this attack going. Coming down the right-hand side, cross for Brewster, but he can't keep his header down. He's actually offside as well. So a double whammy of not scoring a goal there for Brewster, but we've started brightly. We're on the attack again. It's Walters with the throw, and now Anderson giving it back to Walters, who does look, I tell you what, he looks quite good, doesn't he? And there's Gallagher starting the season as he ended last year, cutting in off that left-hand side, curling it in beautifully on his right foot. And it's 1-0 to Peterborough against Crystal Palace. And we look like we're starting this season in the same way we ended last year. I've got to be careful not to disrupt this too much, I think. I need to strike that perfect balance of we need numbers of players. We've got to bring players in because our squad is too small to play this high tempo system all year without injuries and rotation. But we don't want to bring in so many that we wreck the team cohesion and the team spirit that we've currently got, because we are in form. The boys are all happy. I've got full managerial support. So we need to carefully bring in, I guess, young and upcoming players who can come in initially as reserves to these first teamers. And as the season goes on, start to put some pressure on first team places. I guess that's the logical way to do it. We don't want to go out and buy 5 players to shoehorn straight into this starting 11, because this starting 11 is looking pretty useful. Gallagher now on the left-hand side, crosses it in on his right, and Brewster's there, and it's a lovely header. I think he's offside again, but goodness me, it was a good header right into that top corner. It's been disallowed, but I just want to have a look at it again because it was such a good header. This isn't really what we were signing Brewster to do. We brought him in for his pace and to get in behind defences and cause problems with his running, but he has scored a few of his goals with his head now, and he does look like he is a threat in the air, as you saw again there. And look at that for a first half against Crystal Palace. We've absolutely dominated that. You could argue probably we should be more than 1 goal ahead, and hopefully it doesn't end up costing us, because Palace, of course, plenty of experience at this level and above. And although we've been in this division 6 years now, we've always been in relegation battles. So we're quite capable of throwing away a 1-goal lead. It's probably something of a trademark of ours. Corner, it's not a corner, it's a free kick that comes in, and the header is into the side netting, and we need to be very careful now going into these final 20 minutes that we don't mess this up. Gallagher is tiring, so we can give a debut to youngster Ethan Ennis, who is the second highest paid player at the club. We've thrown a lot of money at him to bring him in from Manchester United this summer. We're going to put Silva out on the left-hand side, who can play the exact role that Gallagher was playing out there. Ennis can go into his favoured role as the attacking midfielder, and I don't want to change too much else. We might even leave things there and just focus on keeping fitness levels up, and as people drop into the red, take them off. I'm looking at the wrong team. Oh, goodness me. Why have we swapped over? I think this is a glitch, since maybe not a glitch, maybe it's deliberate. Since the latest update, the teams swap over, and it's annoying. Right, Nelson can come off. We've got another new boy, Keith Dempster, can come on and play on that right-hand side. He's a left footer on that right-hand side. Came in from Stoke, was on loan at Rotherham last year in League One, but he's another one who we're expecting big things from. He's a 5-star potential striker who can play on either wing as well. So let's get him in there as an inside forward. Hopefully going to get him forward into some attacking positions. And then finally, have we got anyone to come on for Walters? Kilic can come on and play at right back. It's always far from ideal to play our 6'5" young centre back at right back, but we had it all last year where we only had one right back. We've sold him. We still only have one. We still need a second right back in, so we don't have to keep putting Mustafa Kilic out there at right back. Right, Silva brings the ball down. We're trying to get a breakaway on here. We've got about a minute and a half left in this game. It's Brewster who's running at the Crystal Palace defence. He's got a couple of options in the middle, doesn't find any of them. It ends up back with McCormick, and now Ullman to Ennis. Silva crossing to Dempster. I thought it was going to be a debut goal for Dempster, cutting in off that right-hand side. But in actual fact, with 30 seconds to go, and we're back at the other end again, trying to defend, and Ullman playing it clear towards Silva. But he's actually given away a throw in another dangerous area. We're under a little bit of pressure here going into the last 10 or 15 seconds of the game. You can see Digital Kev is there looking at his watch, and hopefully that is that for a first day of the season victory. Can we have a full-time whistle, ref? We can. Peterborough 1, Crystal Palace 0. We will absolutely take it. The winning streak in the Championship continues. And now we need to get back to trying to sign some players urgently. Well, a completely rotated side dealt pretty comfortably with Torquay. Particularly impressed with Ennis playing in there. So maybe he was worth all that money after all. It does mean, because our squad is so small, that every single player in the squad has now played a game, or in fact, every single player in the first team squad has started a game, with the exception of Iago Santiago, who is suspended. So that's why he had to miss out. And to be fair, it's why he misses out today, because everyone is impressed. It's a 23-man squad, and he's currently fallen down the pecking order a little bit because he wasn't a part of those first couple of very good performances. But yeah, that is a real demonstration of just how small this squad is. And we do go back pretty much to the team from the first day of the season today, the only exception being Besic coming in to make his Championship debut after making his club debut against Torquay in the Carabao Cup. 4.5-star potential, not quite a Championship quality goalkeeper yet, but then neither is Matthew Cox, and he kept a clean sheet in the last game. So fingers crossed between the two of them, we can get through the season, unless we can find another goalkeeper that appears on our scout reports between now and deadline day. If you remember from I think it was in the transfer special yesterday, I showed you that we had real slim pickings on our scout reports. The director of football wasn't recommending any goalkeepers. And as you'll know from the rules of the save, and if you're not familiar with the rules of the save, the link is in the description. But as you'll know from the rules of the save, they're pretty much the only two ways we can find a goalkeeper. We can't go to the player search screen and look for one. So we're kind of at the mercy of our scouts at this point. Walters, very, very good work down that right-hand side again. And I would question whether or not that's gone over the line from Gallagher. We have got goal line technology, so I guess I can question it and be told that I was wrong. But Walters looks like a real useful signing down that right-hand side. I might have done him a disservice saying he wasn't up to our usual standard just because of those pesky star ratings. He's got straight into this team, and I mean, he doesn't look out of place at all. So very happy with him. He is very lively on the right-hand side. Brewster was alert to it as well, and Gallagher nearly continuing what would then be a goal a game start to the season, because he scored in the last game. If he scored again, that's a goal a game. That counts. The other news we've got is Lundqvist, our young backup left back, 19-year-old left back, has just been subject to a £2.5 million offer from Newcastle. They're already sniffing around him. He's not even broken into the team yet. So we've very quickly offered him a new contract to try and bump up his release clause, which at the moment is only £5.5 million. That is a very good goal from Swansea, by the way. There's not a lot we can do to stop this kind of goal going in. You can't fault the defenders for shots coming in from there, although they close him down very quickly. But it is just a good shot from range that beats the goalkeeper, and that is all that separates the teams at half-time. We have looked bright again in this first half, but we might have our long winning run coming to an end today. But remember, we are still a team that are trying to avoid relegation. We're not expecting to come away from home very often and pick up victories. Although it would be nice to find a way to drag ourselves back into this game and snatch a draw today as we continue to try and assemble points ready for whatever team emerges from deadline day to go on and build on. Micah Beer, if there's a name from series past, he was a big part of the homegrown series last year, and it really stings to have Micah Beerith score a goal against me in a Football Manager video. That just makes me feel a little bit sad. 2-0 down. 2-0 now is what I'm trying to say. Well, a 2-0 down does work. 2-0 now to Swansea, and we're looking like the Peterborough side that we experienced most of last season again. Maybe I've been a little bit quick to not even have Santiago on the bench because we were playing so well. We need to drag ourselves back into this game. So we were good in that first half. Ballard with the header that he can't keep down, and it remains 2-0. And Gallagher, who had to come on at half-time in the cup game because of an injury to Dempster, who was playing on the left-hand side in that game, Gallagher is tired. So we're going to take him off, and we're going to bring on Ethan Ennis and put Silver out there again, get Ennis back in the attacking midfield role where he was so good against Torquay, and we are going to take off McCormick for Leighton Clarkson as well. We'll leave it there for now. Brewster, I would very much like to see something a little bit more from. He ended last season so well, hasn't started this season as well. So I think we're going to give Joe Hugill a championship debut for us. Played against Torquay. Didn't look spectacular, but you got to give him an opportunity, and then we can decide whether or not we still need to bring in another striker, or whether Dempster maybe becomes the man who competes with Brewster once he's fit again after picking up his knock against Torquay. It's a corner now for Clarkson, looking for that far post where Kitching is lurking, but he can't connect with the ball properly. It comes clear to a very tired Luan Silva. I think we are suffering a little bit from 3 games in a week to start the season. This high tempo game that we play, I don't know, maybe we've got that low tempo control possession system ready. Maybe that should be our away from home tactic. That's a lovely finish from Ennis, by the way. I would love it if in a year's time we're all talking about what a bargain Ennis was when we gambled with all that money to throw at him. To be fair, it wasn't an expensive transfer fee. We're just paying him a high wage, and he looks like he's going to be useful for us. 2-1 away from home against Swansea. It's not an embarrassment. It's fine. We're not looking to win the league this year. We're looking to stay up. You don't need to win too many away games against teams like Swansea to be able to do that. What we do need to do is make sure we follow up with a good performance against Forest and don't let one defeat cause our season to crumble. Tomorrow's episode, we're not going to go too far into the future. We're just going to go through to the end of the transfer window. And what we might actually do for tomorrow's video is deadline day and Newcastle. So just one match, but play through deadline day in the video, because it's such a big day for this season, because just to confirm again, we've got pretty much all of our money left going into that deadline day. So I think that's going to be the plan. Deadline day and one match, and that one match being Newcastle. Hopefully we'll have a bit more in the way of transfers done before deadline day too. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.